Dr. Margaret Rozga accepted a award on behalf of her husband, the departed Father James Gropey, last night at the Capitol. She appeared at the Martin Luther King event, which was also attended by Paul Soglin and Scott Walker, who sat immediately behind Dr. Rozga when she spoke. Her husband was to have received the 2013 Heritage Award from MLK. And she used her opportunity, the acceptance speech, as an opportunity to chastise our governor. Let's listen to what she had to say. Sound courtesy of the Cap Times, which placed the raw feed on their website last night.
As the widow of a man who, after we married, not only drove bus but became the president of Local 998 Amalgamated Transit Union, as a person who remembers that Martin Luther King was killed while he was working to organize sanitation workers, I know that anyone who works to curtail union rights is not in the tradition of Martin Luther King.
Dr. Rozga chastised Scott Walker not only for his union stance, but also for voting rights, trying to make it more difficult for people in the state of Wisconsin to vote. Dominic, you know, Scott Walker must hate going out in public because everything he does when he leaves the business community, when he leaves the Republican box bubble, people really don't like him very much in our community.
And she was saying this in front. I mean, he was standing directly or just behind her. Immediately
behind her, was about 2 seats down from the podium. Paul Soglin actually clapped a little as she was making those statements. And then she got up, and to her credit, she looked Scott Walker in the eye and she shook his hand just to let him know that she was talking to him.
Excellent. Well, and that's the beautiful thing about this country. We can say those things, and we can have we can criticize our elected officials, and that's something I think everybody can appreciate. Apparently, you just can't do it in the Capitol without getting a permit.
There's a lot of things you cannot do in our state capitol anymore, Dominic. Scott Walker has made some proposals, both through his State of the State address, and they're coming in his budget, we can anticipate. And then he also has, of course, the support. Robin Voss is the new Fitzgerald. He's the new, good Patsy that marches along in lockstep with Mr. Walker. And they're going to announce this $300 million plus tax cut here in the state of Wisconsin, Dominic. $350 million, I've seen as high as. What's that really boiled down to for each resident in the state of Wisconsin?
According to the Journal Sentinel Online, it comes out to about $200 per family.
Life-changing.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have $200 than not have $200, Michael.
I would rather see Wisconsin put some money back in its educational system. Some of the money that we strip from our, University of Wisconsin programs, or some of the money that we stripped from, state education block grants that we took away from public schools.
But wait,
Dominic.
Didn't Walker give the communities the tools to get that money back?
The tools to shaft their employees, the tools to...
Well, hey, come on. Now, you're going to talk about this. I'll bring it up. Appleton, We Trust. As soon as this came down, their prices went down $3 million. There's one. If there's one, there's a dozen. There's been a whole lot of shafting been given by lots of people in this country over the years, Michael. And from an independent
So we in Wisconsin shouldn't join in that shafting of our people?
Well, I mean, I think
that's good business, Dom,
no, of course
or what?
not. But you have to certainly look at it from the other perspective. Be the devil's advocates. Is there a reason? Why do you think that they took these actions, Gertie? I mean, it's because the money was getting out of control.
Well, Dominic, I've seen some differing accounting numbers, and I would really like to get to the bottom of this because something I've seen recently, and I think Graham Zielinski made reference of this on our show last week. Are we really suddenly in the black? Are we, the beneficiaries of this wonderful leadership from Scott Walker, or did he fail to enact the accounting policies he stated he was going to enact? And are we instead at a greater financial deficit than we were when he indeed took office?
Well, we
don't know the truth.
We don't know. We don't know. I recall from his criticism of the prior administration, they were calculating it using government math, quote unquote, and that he was going to come in and use general accepted accounting principles. Does that mean that we went from a $3 billion deficit and now we have this $500 million surplus so we can get back in taxes? Or is it by the time anyone does any research to figure out that the numbers are the old numbers and there's still really a deficit, those checks will already be cut?
Dominic, I know almost for sure that some of our listeners are smarter than you. So let's have them call. Give us an answer to this question. Did you choke on your drink a little bit there, buddy? 321-0921. If you want to get in before the end of our short hour here, 321-0921. Give us your thoughts. I mean, my thoughts are, Dominic, Scott Walker came in, opened Wisconsin up for business, stripped money out of our educational systems, undermined, and I don't care what the graduation rates are now. Let's see what the graduation rates are in 10 years, Dominic, because the changes he made, the changes to our educational system, the funding, and the tools he gave us to strip teachers of their jobs, Dominic, those things are going to come home to roost in a weakened educational system in the state of Wisconsin, and that's the only reason why people come here for jobs. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. We got one short segment left. If you want to join in, get on the phones. I see people are doing it right now. 321-0921.
Unlimited opinion.